Oh, good morning. My name is Tom Demmer. I'm a state representative from the 90th District. I'm joined today by my colleagues, Representative Patty Bellock from the 47th and Representative Noreen Hammond from the 93rd. Yesterday, we learned that later this morning, House Democrats are going to be sharing with you some so-called reform proposals. Here we are 15 days away from the May 31st adjournment, and House Democrats have reverted to the old playbook we've seen from them time and time again. But we need to call this what it is. It's the House Democrats running out the clock on the legislative session, appearing to engage only to pull back at the last minute and offer simply rehashed proposals in a take-it-or-leave-it fashion that ignores the input from House Republicans and ignores any opportunity that we've had over the last couple of weeks to work together, and instead looks at this as a time that's quickly getting away from us. We've seen over the last couple of years this situation play out. In 2015, House Republicans participated in working groups only to have the Democrats pull away at the last minute and pass a budget that was $4 billion out of balance. Last year, again, House Republicans participated in working groups only to have Democrats, again, pull away and at the last minute pass a budget that was $7 billion out of balance, a budget so far out of balance that it couldn't even pass the Democratic-controlled Senate. We don't think that the appropriate proposal is to say, to appear as if we're working together, only to have House Democrats pull away at the last moment and offer take-it-or-leave-it proposals. Much of what we see or expect to see today, what reports are, that House Democrats will offer the same proposals they have before, just rehashed, rewarmed, called new reforms, things that we know don't actually change the status quo in Illinois. For example, House Democrats today are expected to talk about work comp proposals, work comp reform proposals. They've offered a few so far this year, things like having the state create its own work comp insurance provider. These are proposals that have passed on partisan lines in the House and will likely be reintroduced today as some kind of work comp reform, but reforms that we know that will not save employers in the state of Illinois money. We've heard that time and time again. So it's disheartening to see this the same playbook again at play with these reforms. And we as House Republicans are here to say that's not the direction we need to take. That path has failed in the past, and we don't think it'll be successful this time. To talk about a little bit about some of the specific proposals, first I'd like to turn it over to Representative Noreen Hammond, who will talk about education proposal.
Thank you, Representative Demmer. So, as many of you know, there has been a bipartisan group. The Governor's Education Reform Commission has been working for many, many months. And these individuals have come together to present various versions of education funding reform done on an evidence-based model. As of today, this morning, we see an amendment to House Bill 2808 that completely changes the landscape of the work that commission and the members had been doing. This amendment is a deliberate attempt to manipulate the bill's outcome to benefit, again, the Chicago public schools. It skews the distribution of hundreds of millions of dollars away from suburban, rural, and other districts directly into the Chicago public school districts. And so there is, once again, no accountability in a block grant of about $250 million that will go to the Chicago public schools. In addition, if you remember, much of that money was in a trade-off for the pension benefits in those school districts. Again, in this amendment, there is more money given for those pension benefits. And I think most troubling is the change in the tier allocation. So we had an allocation going to the poorest school districts in the neediest areas for the poorest students. This amendment changes that and gives a greater share to the Tier 2, which, no surprise, the Chicago Public Schools are in the Tier 2. So we all have poor students. We all have poor students in every district that we represent across the state of Illinois. It's important that we do an evidence-based model that gives the funding to the students and to the students that need it the most. This is not the answer.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Patty Bellock, State Rep from the 47th District, and thank you for being here today. So the three of us are here today because Leader Durkin selected us as three members that he would like us to review the academic proposals that the Democrats were going to give. So far, as the two representatives before me have said, we have seen nothing new. I don't know if something new will come out today. But in January, when we were inaugurated, if you remember, Leader Durkin gave his talk, and he said we were going to embark on a more bold and clear agenda in the General Assembly. So far, we have not seen anything bold or clear, and here we are 15 days away again from the end of session with nothing really bold and clear, and more to come, and we're looking forward to making changes because we are in a position right now that, as you know, we have $14 billion of unpaid bills. We have a deficit close to $5 billion, if not more, and we are still not working on the reforms that we should be working on, which will bring us to a better fiscal footing in the state of Illinois. These things have to be addressed this year as the bond houses are looking every day at what's going on in the state of Illinois and reducing our bond rating, as we've seen happen in the last couple of years. So today we're looking at these issues as to how we are really seriously going to address the backlog of the bills, to reduce unemployment, reform our broken pension system, which we have continually talked about for the last several years, but which hasn't gotten done, and bring together a truly balanced budget. We've been aware that the Senate has been working diligently on this. We've talked about it for the last several weeks. We've been waiting for them to bring something over in good faith, and we think that they will, in the end, try to do that. So looking forward to that, we're waiting to see how we can move forward in addressing the issues that I've just talked about, because as we know in this room right now, time is running out. It's 15 days. We used to have the work groups. Several years ago, we were part of all of us sitting down, doing a resolution with what the budget number was actually going to be, and it worked until, as Representative Demmer said, the last couple of years, yes, we had working groups, but then $4 billion was thrown in at the end. Then the next year, $7 billion thrown at the end. We need to not have that extra money thrown at the end. We're looking forward to working together in these next 15 days and making sure that the Democrats work with us and that we come up somehow with a balanced budget for the state of Illinois so that all of us can walk away from here this year telling the taxpayers of Illinois that we are going to solve some of the financial problems of the state of Illinois and move on to reinstate our state as one of the best states in the United States on a good fiscal footing with bond houses not at our feet all the time. Thank you.